Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the iTunes Fanboy Podcast. And unfortunately, Tabbypears, despite what I said, because this is a 2 week delay, unfortunately, Tabbypears is having a lot of connections issues with FaceTime
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
because of course he switched to Windows, and of course you know what that means. And of course he switched to an iPhone 10s Max, which is starting to give him issues too.
Oh my god.
He switched.
Out of all of us, it seems like he has to have the worst experiences with Apple devices.
Yeah,
I'm just confused. How is he consistently had these issues?
he He just has issues with Apple devices.
That is just bananas.
Yeah.
But that is so weird.
Well,
Anywho, because if we decided to skip this week's, that would mean we'd have a 2 week delay, and I think we care too much about getting you guys some form of a show, whether Tabby's here or not. So
yeah. And
we're
besides,
sticking to what we've got.
we'll include Tabby in the next one. And of course, in a month or so, we're gonna start having guests on from coming from all over the United States.
Sounds fun.
Yep. So let's
All right. Anywho,
let's get started
yeah,
with
time to get into some topics.
the news. So first up in the Apple news, the iPhone 14 Pro's always-on display wallpapers are going to use the Apple Watch-like screen.
As in, like the little, like for example, on my watch face, I got the different icons in the corner you can tap, something like that. Yeah, that's what I thought.
What do you think of that versus the previous rumors?
So, because I came from Android, I've had previous experience with an always-on display. My A50 had that function. Um, I found it only useful for notifications. It displayed like the first three apps, and if there was only four, then it would display four. But I found it useful for quickly displaying, hey, you got a notification from this app, but doesn't specify what type of notification to hide your privacy and such. So, however, I'm not too sure. I think maybe Apple might be attempting to do the same thing that I found Samsung to do, where they got the different icons on their uh, always on display like that. Except
Yeah,
they might also still have the bubble form. Yeah, if you want like more details and expand on those four
I can
icons,
hear
for
you,
example, then you
Alpha.
can swipe up from the bottom. Can you hear me? Because I am currently speaking right now. Is my Wi-Fi acting up again? Come on. No, I'm on full strength. Yeah, you can you hear me at least? Oh, you've disappeared. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Huh, that's odd. Come on.
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
You're still
All
blurry
right.
though, but
Yeah, that's
blurry is always better than can't hear you.
yeah. Here, I'll try shutting the video feed off, see if that helps. All right.
Yeah, now that I'm,
Uh,
yeah, now that I am, eh. I personally think the Apple Watch like effect is cool because I didn't see the previous rumors as actually saving much battery. Though if this I see it as an actual benefit, and it makes me wonder if the Apple. No, never mind. But but it makes me curious if the Apple Watch Series 8 will be able to downclock to 1 hertz like the iPhone 14 Pro.
hmm. Actually, yeah. I kind of wonder. I
Or at
mean,
least the Series 8
no.
Pro.
Wait, hold on. Doesn't it already do that with the always on display?
Oh, it probably does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, they've mentioned that it downclocks to 1 hertz when it's in always on display mode. Yeah, it already does that.
Hmm.
I forgot about that actually. So Yeah, that's interesting. But there's another interesting thing that iUpdate gave quite the demonstration on that I found very interesting because I've never seen an always on display do this except for the Apple Watch. Most always on displays, like on my Samsung, for example, most the display mostly turns black, but it still displays like the time and then various other widget like things that pop up. Um, in the iOS always on display, it kind of works similarly to how the Apple Watch handles the always on display, where it dims the wallpaper and such.
Actually, that's what's changing. It's changing from.
That to me, that is interesting. I've never seen an always on display design like that
Again,
before.
that's why I don't think it could save battery.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how much that would say. I mean, when you turn the brightness of a display down, it helps save power, but you still got the display functioning. So to me, I'm a bit confused on that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
again, maybe Apple just put the Apple Watch always on display on the Apple Watch to help make it for the iPhone, because doesn't an always on display on an Apple Watch sound stupid?
I shut mine off. I have the Series 7, which supposedly supports it, and I shut it off.
Yeah, like you're always waking up your watch and you can just raise to wake. So,
Yeah, and every single time I do the raise to wake, it just wakes up like every time. No, go away, Siri. I don't need you to activate.
yeah, Siri activates all the time on my grandmother's Apple Watch too, and it does it sometimes with mine too. Or through
I wonder why it does that.
my
That is so
mine
weird.
3, I should say.
Oh, the Series 3.
Oh, no.
That watch
No,
needs to
I
die.
meant mine 3 because I'm the third person that we were talking about to have the issue.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. All
I
right.
actually have a kid in my class who's still using an Apple Watch Series 3.
Oh
No,
my
he's gonna
gosh.
get a
No.
Series 8 though.
Okay, that's
He
good.
actually, yeah, he uses that in
And
an iPhone 8.
mm, unfortunately, I still have an aunt that uses a Series 3.
Yeah, my mom still considers the Apple Watch Series 3 to be the best Apple Watch ever made because of the battery life.
No!
I
No!
know.
No, it is not.
And
Has she even tried like the Series 6 or
she
7?
has a Series 6 actually that she uses every day. She gave her Series 3 to one of her
Oh,
friends when she upgraded to now mine, Series 5.
how's her Series 6 holding up? Is that at least any better than the Series 5? Because I heard she's got a lot of issues with the Series 5.
Uh, the Series 6 does not have. The Series 6 had some better battery life when it came out, though, of course, as you would say. Not as good as the 3, though. Now it's really degraded to where it's even worse than my Series 5 now.
What does she do to that thing? How does she use that?
She just uses it like everybody uses their Apple Watches. She even has always on display turned off.
I'm so confused.
I know. She had to get another.
Cause I always end the day at what I'm currently at like 80% on my watch now, and I picked it up this morning and basically didn't take it off ever
And I
since.
have to charge my Apple Watch like every 2 days, of course, with the new Apple Watch policy and or the Apple Watch policy in my school.
Hmm. I have to ask, since you have to wear the Halo during school, and because that opens the opportunity to charge it during the day, have you tried like any sleep tracking features at night?
I don't like to wear watches when I go to bed.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's why
Thought I'd ask because it opens an opportunity up.
the Apple Watch can do that too. Oh no, I just charge
Yeah.
my Apple Watch up when I notice that the battery is low. Yeah,
Oh, you do it when it gets to a certain percentage. I just do it
I
overnight
never
because
I
that's
never charge my
more
devices
convenient for
overnight
me.
because I don't like because I don't like leaving them on the charger because that could always be something like a fire hazard.
Mm. I've actually, ever since I don't want to spoil too much of it, but ever since I got a particular device, I now only charge it every 2 nights because the battery is so stupid good that um, I just don't think it'd be a wise idea to charge it every night.
Yeah. Well,
I got to like 78% last night. What?
yeah. Well, so essentially, this is also going to be an Android-like display on the iPhone 14 Pro, always on display. So now we've got the big controversial news of the iPhone 14 lineup,
Oh dear.
and it's call,
Fire away.
and we're calling it the price tag.
Oh no. This is why I was another reason why I wasn't excited for it.
Well, so the iPhone 14 Pros to both are going to start at 15% more, supposedly, which would make the iPhone 14 standard one start at 919 bucks, and the US
Oh
dollars
gosh.
and the iPhone 14 Pro does start at $1,149. But again, Minchie Kuo in his tweet did say average, though I obviously just calculated just to say that's what we could be looking at.
Oh
It would be
gosh.
nine. Obviously, if it were Apple, they'd probably make it $930. As we all know, Apple loves to do their $30 increments.
It's so weird how they did it that way. I'm so why $30?
Apple's been doing
Like
that ever
the
since. Even did that with the iPod Touch, second gen, and
yeah, the
third
weird
and
thing
fourth
is
gen.
I'm trying to figure out why $30? Why $30? Like they if they're going to raise the price, they don't mind raising the price. Like why not $50? I'm not saying I want that. It's just why 30? It's just such an
It's
odd
just
number.
Apple probably has their own specific reason for doing that we don't know. Hey, maybe I could email Craig Federighi about that because supposedly he does respond, as he did respond to Jordan Riddles when he emailed him.
Wait, are you
Yeah,
serious?
ask Jordan about
Oh my
that time that
gosh!
he emailed Craig Federighi, or watch his YouTube video about it.
Oh, think of the things I could file complaints for. The lack of the touch bar. Oh, I could ask for the touch bar back. Oh, and then maybe this hideous camera bump design on the new
I mean,
iPhones. Oh, imagine the ideas I could
I,
just fire
I've actually
away.
got a better idea. I could email him and I could ask him to be on the podcast.
Oh, that. You know, if he actually responds to that and says yes, I gotta think of something crazy to do. Imagine if he did say yes, though.
Yeah,
If he said yes, I probably need a change of pants.
well,
Oh gosh.
after the podcast and after I get done doing my YouTube video, maybe I'll email Craig Federighi about that.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he says
Or
yes.
even
That would
better,
be
I could ask
so
him to see if we
interesting.
could maybe even get Tim. Or if he decided to pass, I could ask him to maybe even get Tim Cook on the podcast.
Good morning, the iTunes Fanboy
Or
Podcast. We are so excited to discuss the different types of news with Teddy Maggart and Alpha DeWolf.
and Tabbypears.
Oh, and Tabbypears, assuming that he can figure out how to get his FaceTime issues all figured out. Maybe it's because he decided to ditch us with his laptop. Oh gosh.
We're sorry, Tabbypears.
Oh, I had to break out the Tim Cook impression.
Let me try it. Good morning, everybody. I'm not good at imitating Tim Cook.
Yeah.
Though again, that's probably.
Lucky me, I was a part of drama club, so I know how to imitate.
However, with me, to be fair, my voice is a little more nasally, which makes it hard.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Because, I mean, I am from the southeast, like Tim Cook is.
Oh yeah, that's true. What's he from? Which state?
Alabama.
Alabama, I'm thinking?
Mobley,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Alabama. His,
Yeah, he's from there.
his accent is
I
far.
forgot
He has
that.
a far greater accent than I do, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a much heavier southeastern
Yeah,
accent than compared to you.
and I mean, he is a fan of Auburn.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anywho, back on topic
So,
because we've missed a lot of news last week.
so the iPhone 14 Pro storage base is to be 256 gigabytes. However, the iPhone 14s will just be 128 gigabytes again.
I don't think I'd take that much issue with it, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I mean,
I mean, the price is increasing. Think about it. The way I'm thinking about it, mostly due to what I'm hearing the new prices to be leaked at, it's almost basically you're just eliminating a storage option. You're just eliminating the cheapest storage option on the pros.
exactly, though. I still have high doubts that Apple is going to do this just because it's only been 2 years. And Tabbypears, if he were here, he would definitely point that out.
Yeah. So price hikes are not fun. Trust me, when you're saving up for an expensive car and it's constantly getting price increases, it's not fun.
How about you get How about you get a Corvette? Then you could. Then you could get. Then your girlfriend would probably love that.
Yeah, it's not I'm not getting a fancy car for my girlfriend. My girlfriend does not care about cars and actually she would care more about having a Tesla.
Hmm. Well,
And the reason for that is because she hates driving.
I actually didn't know that. Oh, speaking of, did you hear the
Yeah.
great news about Tesla full self-driving?
Um
It's gonna release in October. Elon Musk tweeted that on his Twitter account.
when was that? I must have missed
Yeah,
that and yet I follow him.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, well, Riker from Tech World follows
I gotta
him.
look that up now.
And I checked that out, and yep, it's real. Tesla FSD is actually
Yeah,
going
let
to
me
come
see.
out.
Following
My mom hate
oh, he's
my mom hates driving too, but yet she doesn't like Teslas at all.
Elon Musk. There we go. Yeah, most people say they hate driving. I am the oddball that actually enjoys driving.
Yeah, yeah, because if my mom had, yeah, because my mom would probably feel more relieved to have a Tesla, but she thinks they're unattractive and she does not like Elon Musk at all.
Yeah, there's some quirks about Elon that even I have to disagree with,
Yep,
but
like for example, his tiny house.
I care more about I care more about the having the product like if I'm going to be honest, you probably don't know this because I've never really said it publicly. Tim Cook as a businessman, he's awesome. Tim Cook as a person, I
Oh
despise.
yes, I actually despise Tim Cook both ways.
As a businessman, he's great because I mean Apple's more profitable than ever. There are some things that um, we don't appreciate like price hikes and such, but overall the company making money, that's kind of what the CEO's job is to do. And well, between him and Steve Jobs, Tim Cook has made more money than Steve Jobs ever would have.
Yeah. However, of course, this does come with the drawback of Apple deprioritizing the consumer because we went over this in the episode with Riker on, but you obviously weren't here for that because that was in season one. But we talked about how Apple is starting to prioritize their stock investors more than their customers, as we
Yeah,
all
that
know from the
I
Genius
listened to
Bar.
that episode. Yeah, I actually did listen to that episode, and yeah, it's the more you look at it, the more it's true.
How do you actually listen to
Because
my?
the media proclaims Touch Bar sucks, Touch Bar sucks. Investors are like, oh, people aren't liking this. Sell stock, sell stock. And then, oh, yay, we get praise in this we get praised in this new product now that it has the touch bar removed. Buy stock, buy stock, buy stock.
Except now it's more expensive.
Yeah.
And speaking of stock, when in my history class when we were mentioning stocks, my teacher actually said there was a startup in the 1980s and 90s computer company called Macintosh that later became Apple. And I obviously did say, hey, that's not actually true at all. And the
Yeah, Macintosh was actually a division of
yeah,
Apple at the time, if I recall.
and it still is.
It was a separate team, separate division. Kind of like we have the Mac division, the iPhone
Yeah.
division, the iPad division.
And I mean, of course, he stated that my social studies teacher stated that if a relative if somebody invested into Apple years ago, they'd be rich by now, but they would have, of course. But what a lot of people don't realize is that they would have been starving in the 1990s.
Oh yeah. Oh, when Steve left, that's when the company really took a
And
dump.
now, I mean, Apple's going in that same direction. I mean, their iPhone lineup is getting really complex.
And they're straying from a lot of what I mean. The biggest key thing that they're straying from that kind of was what the iPhone was famous for. It also had a beautiful design, like the iPhone 10 and 10s. You got to admit
They're
that
nice.
looks like a luxury device. You can't say it doesn't look like a luxury device. It's so beautiful.
My history teacher still uses an iPhone 10 or 10s, funny enough.
It's I don't blame him. It's such a good phone, and honestly, I could hold on to this phone for so much longer because the battery health is, last I checked, it's still at 90%, even though battery health basically means
It
nothing.
dropped. It was like a close. It was like in the upper 90s a year ago, though. So Tabbypears' argument would again. Tabbypears would tell you, hey, I'm right.
Well, here's the thing that confuses me. So all the other iPhone 10s's he's been using is they all have had like uh, below 90%, like closer to 80%. And yeah, I'm still at 90%.
Eh, well, to be fair, the
Battery health is so weird and so
to
inaccurate.
he even made a video about that. However, you also have to note how maybe the previous owners were too addicted to their phones, as we say way too much on this podcast.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, even I'm a little guilty of it every now and then. Every now and then I just kind of binge watch YouTube a little too much. Little too much wham bam Tesla cam and such.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, even I'm a bit addicted though. Now I've basically learned to most of the time I've now been able to figure out how to put down the phone. In fact, now that I have a slightly more unattractive device, now I'm able to put it down more. The device now I'm typically binge watching on is my laptop.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can't really binge watch YouTube videos or even anything because I don't have the attention span.
I've actually found a efficient way to, well, it only works part of the time when editing my videos, but when I'm like either color correcting footage or oh no, when I'm listening to sound, I have to shut the video off. But when I'm color correcting footage and just cutting out the silence, just getting rid of the silent bits, I just have a YouTube video in the background playing.
Yeah.
And now that I have a dual monitor setup that are 27-inch displays, oh, so
Yep.
beautiful.
I
Oh, so enjoyable.
yeah, I imagine I have well what am I trying to say? Yeah. Yeah, like have you ever heard of the TV show The Office?
I've watched a couple episodes, but I found it to be so boring I just couldn't
Yeah.
watch it.
It's taken me near I've I've been trying to finish the series for 2 years now, and I'm still only on season 7. Just goes to show.
I hear season 9 is really rough.
I hear it is too. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I hear I probably won't bother finishing it, but I just won't bother. Yeah, it just goes to show you how short my attention span is.
I'm I'm still trying to finish NCIS. I'm on season 14,
I
I
can
think.
that I can understand why, because unlike a half-hour sitcom, that's an hour-long drama, and I mean, there's it's been on for like over 20 years, so
Such a great show though. I
yeah,
absolutely love it.
that I know I would never finish if I tried.
Yeah. There's enough humor bits to keep me entertained, and then just the drama between all the different agents. Oh,
Yeah,
just gives me a good laugh.
yeah. Well, let's get on to news again. So the
Yep, back on to
MagSafe in the iPhone
news.
14 is going to become stronger.
Actually, that I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah, I mean, MagSafe is currently really weak right now. I mean, Tabbypears has no use for it. My mom has no use for it. I obviously don't have a MagSafe capable iPhone, so I have no use for it. My dad has no use for it, even though he actually now could maybe benefit more from it because he does love using his car mount.
I've discovered that um, well, I've never actually tested it because I don't have a MagSafe car mount, but assuming that you have your iPhone uncased or you have a MagSafe case, um, if you have either your phone uncased or a MagSafe case, you got to make sure that your car isn't too bumpy or your roads aren't too bumpy because that will be enough to knock the phone
Exactly.
off.
That's why I don't. There's a reason why I don't. There's a reason why MagSafe needs to become stronger. Because my mom got a MagSafe wallet for her iPhone, well then her main iPhone 13 Pro, and it kept sliding around, so she stopped using it.
Yeah, I hear that the MagSafe wallet is not very secure, which is not really a good thing because I don't know about you, but I don't really think it's a good idea to, I don't know, have your wallet that loosely attached to you.
Exactly. So
I'm constantly losing my wallet to the point where I have to put an air tag on it.
yeah, well of course Apple wants you to put an AirTag in your Mac, and there's not enough room to put an AirTag in your MagSafe wallet.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. And even if there was, then oh, I suppose the solution would be take the wallet off your case, but yeah, then you'd have your phone rocking all over the place if you still have the wallet attached to the bottom.
Yeah,
Not very convenient. So
exact.
yeah, I think it's a good thing to put some stronger magnets on.
Yeah. Well, I've got some more news, which Tabbypears would be having to change his pants for. The
Oh
iPhone
dear.
the iPhone 14 series is going to now have a charging less speed limit of up to 30 watts instead of 20 watts.
They're re-enabling that?
Yep.
You want to know something funny?
Yeah.
I believe with the iPhone 8s and the iPhone 10, they used to allow you to fast charge up to 30 watts, and then they later on through an iOS update decided, nope, we're going to limit it to. I don't remember if it was 15 or 18 watts. It was either of the two. But yeah, they used to actually charge at around 30 watts.
Yeah.
Now they don't.
And of course, we all know how Tabbypears would be reacting to this since he's been asking for that for so long.
Yeah, for me, I honestly don't get why you do that, but that's because I just charge overnight, and yeah, I use slow chargers. Like, I put my iPhone on a 5-watt wireless charger overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's slow, but I only charged it overnight. so that way I don't have to charge it randomly in the middle
Well,
of the day.
Tabby, of course, charges it similarly the way I do, which is that charge whenever we notice the battery is low, unless it's over.
Yeah, I don't like doing that because I'm often in a situation where I'm not near a charger,
Yeah, I,
like especially when I'm at my job. In fact, if my phone dies at my job, I'm screwed because I legit need my phone for work.
ouch.
Yeah, so I have to keep my phone charged as much as
Yeah,
possible, and I don't think I gotta worry about the battery dying anytime
yeah,
soon.
because as Tabbypears and I say on this podcast, nobody needs as much battery life as you're getting.
Yeah, I think at this point, I don't think anybody really needs to improve battery life anymore, because at that point, that's when you're going to start really, uh, just growing the size of the phone to an unnecessary level. Like, yeah, the 13 Pro Max especially is heavy. Like, I've held a couple of them before. I've held two different 12 Pro Maxes before, and yet supposedly they're not even as heavy as the 13. But yeah, the 13 Pro Max is heavy, but it's not the end of the world. But I think that's as much as most people are willing to tolerate. For me, it's not the end of the world, but for some reason, I don't like the slightly heavier devices and such.
Well, I mean, for
I
Tabbypears, of
really
course,
think
his
they're
12
just
Pro
being
Max
whiny,
began
complaining.
hurting his wrist because it was so heavy and big.
What does everyone pick up to the point where their iPhone has to be like the heaviest object they pick up every day?
Well, yeah, to be fair, I do lift weights, that so it might not bug me.
I often have to ask, okay, what's the heaviest thing you guys lift up? Because there's no way it's like your MacBook, for example.
It's actually the heaviest thing I lift up is probably it's probably my weights though. I have occasionally carried whole bags of litter to be in my cat's litter boxes. They're like 50 pounds.
Yeah, I'm often having to haul 50-pound bags of chicken feed or dog food.
You have
And when I'm
chickens?
at my job, I have to lift heavy. Yeah, we got
Do
chickens.
you use their do you ever eat their eggs or use their eggs?
Yeah, yeah, we have mostly layers. Part in the garage. Kind of sucks having your studio over a garage.
Yeah, do you? That's cool. That's cool though, because local eggs are always going to be better than store-bought eggs. As my dad,
Yeah, we get enough eggs to the point where we usually can sell them to a few of our friends.
yeah, my dad used to do that back when he had a chicken farm, but now, of course, all my cats and dogs would eat the chickens.
Yeah.
So because when they see a chicken, they think yummy, 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 yum. Because one of my cats, Haley, she actually chatters out my window whenever she sees a bird.
Oh,
Yep.
jeez.
Well,
Yeah, it reminds me of it's kind of a gruesome story, but it's about a chicken being dumb enough to stick its head through the fence into the dog kennel.
oh no, what happened? I, I know what
That
happened.
chicken might have gotten its head torn off.
And eaten.
Yeah. Oh.
And one of my cats, Spot, this other cat, Spot, decided to climb onto my bed.
That's a new one.
No, I've actually,
Haven't heard that one before.
Spot just hasn't come into my room much in the past few years. I've actually had her for 4 years. She's
Hmm.
Beezus' sister.
Ah.
The cat that showed her butt in my Zoom meeting once.
What a story. All right. Anywho, moving on to some more
The
stuff.
iPhone 14 event is going to be on September 6th, which is one of my relatives' birthdays, and the actual release date will be September 15th, and this will unfortunately be virtual and pre recorded.
You know what? I'm going to have a hot take.
What?
I'm actually going to challenge that event date.
What do you think it will be?
And it's because Apple typically likes to hold their events on the second Tuesday of the month. I think it will actually be September, whatever the next Tuesday is.
That is September 13th. That was
Yeah,
that's
that's what
when
I
it was
thought.
last
13th.
year. I think.
Wait, are you
I
serious?
think that's when it was last year. Let me check.
I'm opening the calendar. Yes. When you get a new phone, you get all these pop-ups, and it's so annoying.
September
Yes.
14th.
Just let me browse the
September
calendar.
14th. So one day off.
One day off. Yeah, September 14th.
All right. Well, now I've got another feature that Tabbypears would again be jumping up and down for.
Well, actually, before we move on, there's one thing I'd like to actually interject into that. Are you expecting anything else at the September event other than iPhone 14s?
AirPods,
Because, I mean, that's at this point usually a
AirPods
given.
Pro, iPad 10th generation, and I'm also expecting obviously the Apple Watch here, all the new Apple Watches.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I need AirPods Pro too.
Me too. I'm gonna buy them
Oh
on.
my
I'm gonna
gosh.
buy them either on launch day or the day after. I'm sure Tabby
Have
Pairs
you had
will.
issues with your AirPods Pro?
Yep. Do you want to guess what they're doing? Sometimes
What are they doing? What are they doing?
noise cancellation and sometimes transparency are turning off because. However, they are saying that because I don't have both AirPods in my ears, supposedly, even though I do.
So you're experiencing the same issues I am.
Yep.
Finally, I found someone who's had the same
So,
issues I
is it?
have.
Did your iPhone claim that you're neither Air that only one of your AirPods was in your ear?
No,
Yeah, because
no,
my iPad
it
is
still
claiming
detects
that.
both of them. It's just they shut
But
off. They just randomly shut off, and not even the software knows it shuts off.
yeah, but now, yeah, but it's shutting off just in a different way than yours.
Finally, I know someone else who has the same issue.
And noise
I mean,
can't
I might have it slightly
no
worse, but still, it's
those
so
features were
annoying.
actually shut off earlier in January or February, though that suddenly resolved itself.
Yeah, for me, I've consistently had the issue 6 months after I originally purchased them. I had
Wasn't
the
it
issue,
three?
sent them in for repair, got them back.
Wasn't it
No, it was six.
No, what did you did the repair in April, May 2021. You bought them in January or February 2021, I thought.
Really?
Yeah, that's at least when you posted your
Okay,
unboxing
I know
video.
I bought them in January. I thought I did the repair towards like July or
Nope.
something.
You did it in May. I remember watching your support video back then.
Okay, okay, all right. Uh, yeah, well, still, that ended up happening. So send them back for repair, get them back. 6 months later, and yeah, it actually started in November, but it wasn't anywhere serious. But it started in November, and then yeah, had that same issue again. Waited till towards the end of the warranty period, so that way I can get the longest extension possible. And sent them back, get them back, and lo and behold, we're back to square one.
Yep.
So annoying.
Well,
I have no idea what the deal is.
yep. So now we've got. Now let's move on to the feature that Tabby Pairs would have to be that Tabby Pairs would be jumping up and down for and would have to change his pants for. Battery percentage is now finally available on the status bar on Face ID iPhones, excluding the iPhone XR, 11, 12 mini, and 13 mini on iOS 16 Beta 5.
First of all, yes! Oh, it's so annoying every time I have to
Hello?
swipe for Control Center just to check my battery percentage.
What?
So annoying to have to check my swipe down for Control Center to check my battery
I
percentage. It's
agree.
so
My
annoying.
mom hates that. I don't know if my dad hates that or not, though my dad does.
Everyone I talk to with that everyone I talk to, I ask that question, and anyone who has the notch style iPhones, they all miss the battery percentage. I don't know a single person who doesn't want it back.
Yeah, my dad, to be fair, just asked Siri to do everything now on his phone because he can't, because his eyesight is getting pretty bad. He's almost blind now.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Yep.
I hope he keeps it long enough to be able to read my book as soon as I
Well,
get out of my writer's
yeah, why?
block.
Yeah, me. Yeah, I don't know. Have you? What's actually your writer's block? Because maybe I could help you with this.
Writer's
Or what
block
is it?
is
Or what are?
when.
I know what writer's block is, but what are you stuck
Oh.
on?
I'm trying to transition into another event.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah,
Well, maybe.
it's not like trying to think of an event. I know the event that I want to happen next. I'm just trying to transition into it, but nothing I've been writing has sounded good.
Well, maybe I could write. Maybe you could send it over to me. And maybe I could try transitioning. Because I do transitions a lot when I have to write my stupid essays for stupid school. So,
Well, I'm usually really good at them because there was one essay I did in eighth grade. Hey, that's the one I had such a pain trying to print.
oh
Ugh.
yeah, that's the
Despite that it was
one.
such a pain to
That's the
print.
one with the
Yeah.
famous Windows experience.
Yep, that the one essay that I take so much pride in writing was the hugest pain to print that I've ever experienced. Thank you, Windows, for ruining that.
Yep, I've got a.
But still, I was proud of that essay. That was such a good essay. Got it. Well, there's no A plus at the school that I went to, but I basically got like the highest grade
Yeah,
possible. I was proud of that work.
yeah, I got. Speaking of school computers, at my school they have three types of computers. They have Dell desktops that are like 10, at least 10 years old that they're very
Oh
slow.
gosh.
Then they have those Dell Tower PCs. You know what I'm talking about. Then they have Dell.
Oh yeah, you're describing exactly what's in my
Then
school.
they have then they have new Dell Chromebooks from 2021 or 2022. And then they have old Lenovo Chromebooks from 2017. And the trackpads on the 2017 Chromebooks are so much more worn out than my late 2006 black MacBook from 11 years earlier.
It drives me nuts how terrible those Chromebooks
I,
age.
those Chromebooks are so freaking slow. Like one of my major accomplishments is to get Macs in the school to have them cut. They could cut a lot. There's a lot of things that I think they could stop spending money on. To
And something I've actually managed to convince the librarian, and it took that one experience because she had to witness me go through all that. And she's like, holy, some other word I should not be saying on the podcast. What the
yeah,
heck happened here? And I
you're
told
allowed to
her
swear on my
it's because there's
podcast,
no
by the
Mac.
way.
What?
Yeah, you're allowed to swear.
Okay. I suppose it gets bleeped out
I don't
anyways.
bleep it out.
Oh, you
Yeah,
don't?
no, Tabbypears has
Okay.
done it before. Jordan has done it.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
we
Well,
all know what you're saying, anyways.
yeah, point is, after that, and I told her, dude, just get a Mac. Just get a Mac. A Mac is way better at, first of all, setting up a printer. Most, like, even like business grade faculty printers, they all have the airport software
Yeah,
basically baked into them now. So it doesn't, setup is just super
except
easy. Like, just,
except
it
for
already looks for the printer and bam.
Except for my old wireless printer, that doesn't have AirPrint, so I have to wired plug that in. Or plug that in.
I'm, I'm, no, our office jet
I,
has
I
AirPrint.
meant mine.
Because then how does my
I meant
iPhone?
my
Yeah,
printer.
I was trying to remember if mine had AirPrint, which it
Yeah.
does, because I've printed stuff from my iPhone before. So, yeah, most printers have that built in. You don't have to look online, look for the drivers and
Oh
such, and
my
then,
god.
oops, I don't have the right drivers. It's so annoying. I told her, just get a Mac. And you don't need to get a whole fleet of them. Just get one. To
Yeah,
my knowledge, the high school library now has a Mac.
they actually have a whole fleet of them in my high school library, so in a year I'll be able to use those
Oh, that's
for their
nice.
Intel, so they'll probably have to get some new ones eventually because we all know how Apple is fast dropping Intel Macs, which unfortunately my mom, when
Yeah,
her 2019 MacBook
they've been on
Pro
a
screen
rampage with dropping them.
shattered, I told her, get a 2021 model. Apple's dropping Intel Macs like hotcakes. And my mom's like, well, I save so much money and get more RAM and storage. So she got the 2019 model again. And I get, and I'm like, what is going on?
So wait, hold on. She's on her second.
Yep. Though her first one actually did break of a legitimate purpose because she knocked it off. Or my dad knocked it off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, getting it knocked off the table, that's definitely enough to bust it.
Yeah, that's why. It wasn't because of an issue like Tabby. It wasn't because of a Tabbypears grade issue,
Yeah.
as I like to nickname
Oh,
them.
jeez. Oh, great. Looks like that's going to be another. We're going to have to form a bingo card for this show. iPhone XS Max rants. You're too addicted to your iPhone. Tabby Paris has issues with FaceTime and such. We're gonna have to get a bingo card at some
What
point.
what about the Jewish hacker? No way, he isn't bugging us
Oh, add that to
anymore.
the bingo card.
He isn't. The Jewish hacker isn't bugging me anymore. So I think after
Yeah.
that episode with Apple Maniac YT when we basically trolled him down, I think after that he decided, okay, I can't do this anymore.
He decided he was already being he
Yeah.
decided he wanted to deal with another maniac instead.
Well, nope. He dealt with me for one more time off camera when he slept through another episode of my podcast, the next episode of my podcast that I was recording, and then he supposedly leaked all his real details, even though he didn't. And after that, now,
Yeah, he's just trolling you.
and then now, of course, and gee, I wonder why he slept through my podcast. Is it maybe because it's the middle of the night in India?
Perhaps. Perhaps.
Well, now we've got some bigger things to talk about. Like, I are you an audiophile alpha? I think you are.
Oh, yes, I
Well,
am.
iOS 16.
Yes, I am.
You're now happy to say that, or I'm not happy. You'll be happy to hear that. You probably won't have to pee your pants because of this, though.
All right.
iOS
What's
16
this?
Beta 5 has brought an audio visualizer on the lock screen.
Hmm. Interesting. I usually care more about just listening to it because you won't believe how accurate my ears are. This is why I consider myself an audiophile.
Yeah,
I don't have the fanciest audio gear, and that's because budgetary reasons. But I mean, even with AirPods Pro, which honestly have really great sound, so even with AirPods Pro, I took an audio test, and let's just say, holy crap, did score such a high score? I can hear such little details that most people can't
I
hear.
can't hear little details either. I can see little details, like, for example, I can
Yeah.
notice the
So the
font
visualizer,
in
I mean,
Apple's font difference.
yeah, yeah. The visualizer might help others like that want to get into it, but for me, my ears are so good, I don't really need to
Yeah.
visualize it. I just need to sample the sound itself. Yeah, something that drives my family nuts. Everyone, including my dad, who has some musical talent to him, everyone says the piano is just fine. It's all in tune. We got a upright piano down in our living room.
There's a piano in the room right next to my bedroom too. That was my
Yeah. So we
mom's.
got an upright piano in our living room. They all say it's fine. It doesn't need to be tuned. Dude, I kid you not. That thing is so out of tune. I have no idea how they can't hear it.
Yeah,
That's how good my ears are. I notice the littlest details in sound.
yeah,
That's why I consider myself an
that's pretty
audiophile.
crazy. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So,
Yeah, quite often, like in the machine shop, when there's some sound that my dad's not sure about, if he hears something that he doesn't think he's heard before and such, he often pulls me over and asks, "Hey, do you hear something different?"
yeah,
My ears are that good.
yeah, my dad's ears aren't the greatest,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, my ears are so
yeah,
spectacular.
let's
I got a gift, and I
well,
really
let's
enjoy
just
it.
hope that you lose your hearing as you get old.
Well, that's why I'm protecting it with when I'm out in the shop. I've got my noise canceling earbuds in to protect my hearing and
Well,
such.
except now the noise cancellation is turned off.
Well, actually, the despite that active noise cancellation isn't on, the seals do enough to at least they at least have some sort of effect like regular
Yeah,
earplugs.
like my mom actually
So
notices
they
that
have
with
that
her
effect.
AirPods 3 too, which
So yeah, because yeah, they at least still function as earplugs, which are enough.
yeah,
But the noise cancellation adds an extra layer of blocking out the sound.
yeah. So, well, have you ever heard of the site called Beta Profiles?
No, I haven't.
It's a site where you people install all their betas on because they redistribute the developer beta profiles. And I actually
Oh,
tweeted about this to say, hey, is this legal? Is it legal to do? And Nick from Device Collector 71, who was a guest on my podcast back in season one, he actually stated, no, there's no way they would have got shut down a long time ago if it was illegal. Well, guess what?
unless it was Apple's own site.
Nope, it's not Apple's own site. Well, guess what?
Oh, then yeah, that's okay.
Guess what just got shut down yesterday?
The Beta Profiles
Yep.
website.
The Beta Profile social media site is still going to be a place to talk about iOS betas, though. Yep, Beta Profiles, that's dead. Rest in peace, betaprofiles.com. You were wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You were how I got iOS
For
15
me,
beta 1 and how I beta tested iOS 14.
yeah, I don't test the betas because the way I like to review my products is I like to review the consumer, the way the consumer's eye see it. So most consumers typically don't get the betas installed on their iPhones and such.
Exactly.
So that's why I don't beta test. That and I literally I depend on my iPhone for work, not just the cameras for YouTube, but like my actual part-time job. I need my iPhone for work.
Yeah,
So because of that, it's not a good idea for me to install betas on anything.
yeah.
So
Well, so remember,
I get why some people do it, but no, it's not for
yeah,
me. It's just not for
I
me.
didn't do iOS 16 because it wasn't that impressive to me, though now it is starting to get more impressive. So,
Well, now that we got the battery percentage back.
yep. So now I've got some big news about iOS 16 Beta 5 that just confirmed an iPhone 14 rumor.
Oh yeah, it's the
Yep, it
satellite
now says no
connectivity.
when there's no SIM. Instead of saying no SIM, it now says SOS, which basically confirms that. And Tabbypears, of course, told me about that when he noticed because he does beta testing.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I genuinely am. Despite that, I am not excited for the 14s in general. I am excited for this feature to
Exactly.
roll
That's
out
why you should have
because,
gotten the 14s because you live in a rural area.
well, the cellular has actually been getting a little better out here. Um, I'm trying to remember where our closest tower is, but I think they put up a new one that's a little closer to us.
You actually
So cellular has gotten a little better.
okay?
I will
Yeah,
say
that's
that.
cool.
Oh yeah, the new tower they put up was a 5G one,
Wow.
though. Let's be real. 5G sucks.
Yep, it does.
In fact, I did a speed test. 5G is actually slower than LTE.
Yep, that's why you don't go 5G, people, despite what all the carriers are advertising. But
Yeah.
I've actually, I actually finally found out why Apple is putting the eye hole in the iPhone.
Wait, there's a specific reason other than because we want it to look different, whether it looks better or worse?
Yep, there's a real reason other than to include Face ID so that way somebody with eczema doesn't complain
That is
about
true.
Touch
I
ID.
need Face ID.
But there's another reason for Apple doing that. It's
So what is it
because
this time?
every iPhone's earpiece speaker has had the camera and the earpiece speaker right next to it in the shape of an eye. And so they're carrying this on with the iPhone 14 Pro.
That still sounds more like a design decision though.
Yep, that's why Apple's doing it.
So they're
To
still
carry
only
on
doing it for
tiny.
design purposes, and
Yep,
that's the problem. It shouldn't
but
be there for the design purposes.
but but it's been an iPhone so long that it has to stay. So I'm sorry, Alpha, but you're gonna have to get used to the eye hole. Besides, it probably won't look as bad when it comes out.
Well, I've thought the same thing when the 11 Pro's camera bump was like the official thing. Saw it on the website and saw the renders and like, ew, that looks hideous. Maybe it'll look better in person. No, okay, the fact I saw it in midnight green, and I'm sorry, midnight green is a terrible color on an iPhone. Yeah,
Yeah.
despite that, I saw the first iPhone 11 Pro in midnight green. That didn't help, but I saw the camera bump in person. No, it was much worse. I rather see it on the renders than in person.
This is actually what a midnight green iPhone 11 Pro looks
Oh
like, just
my
to get some
gosh!
visualization
Oh,
of how bad it looks. This is my
oh,
other
jeez.
this is my other 11 Pro Max that it has a broken charging port, which is why I don't use it.
Luckily, it has a secondary charging method.
Yeah, luckily. However, I'm not in access to a wireless charger, so that's why I still use my the 11 Pro Max that you guys are familiar with.
Yeah. So, oh, jeez, that is a terrible color.
You don't have to tell me it's terrible.
Yeah, you get to see it whenever you want to.
Yep.
I will say though, I
Also,
have seen the Alpine green on the 13 Pros.
oh, that looks beautiful.
It looks much better than whatever Midnight Green does, cause like you know how they started the frosted glass on the general back glass of the iPhone Pro, and then the camera bump glass is the typical glossy one.
Yep.
That glossy section on the Midnight Green, it really looks like a pool of barf with uh black spots in it. It looks disgusting.
I agree.
Sorry if I offend anybody who has that phone or likes that color, but if you need my
That's
personal
there's
opinion, that's what it is. I'm sorry.
that's probably why Apple ditched it with the 12 Pro.
Yeah, that was a smart move. That was a really smart move.
I don't like the way that so yeah, I don't really like the Pacific blue of the 12 Pro in photos or in bright light, though. I do think that still looks good under certain conditions.
My aunt has a 12 Pro, no, not Pro Max, a 12 Pro in Pacific Blue, and honestly, I think I prefer that more than Sierra Blue.
Did she? Yeah, that's yeah. I prefer Sierra Blue though because I think that looks nicer. Though, as John Prosser says, it looks like Apple ran out of printer ink when they were deciding the color.
Yeah, that's pretty much a good way to do it, especially with the Pro options. Because seriously, why are there not more color options? I mean, at least they have the cool marketing color and such, but they still got the general. Well, compared to the regular series, not the Pro series, it still has a lack of color options. Though I was
Yeah,
really
like
shocked to see that Alpine Green come out for the Pro series.
me too. I
I did
also
not see
do.
that coming.
I'm. I did not see that coming either because usually they do only on the regulars though. I think that it's a bad move to to release a new color in the middle of the cycle.
It does kind of suck, but it's one way to help keep sales up because I mean, in terms of the fans who are going to upgrade to the latest and greatest anyways, they're all going to do it by September or Christmas. So at that point, from there on, it's whenever the upgrade is convenient. But when it switches to that model where the upgrade becomes convenient, like that's my case. That's why I bought in August instead of, uh, well, much earlier. uh, that's when sales are slower. So they need a way to keep the
Exactly.
sales up.
Exactly, and that's hence another way why Apple cares more about their stock investors than us and
Yeah.
Tabby Pairs. Yeah, Apple. I wonder if we should. I wonder. Tabby Pairs would probably be so mad if we so mad he would have so many angry questions to ask Craig Federighi if I emailed him and we actually got him onto the podcast.
Oh dear. Yeah, because he's having
Or
so many issues with FaceTime
or
and such.
or Tim Cook even, or if we managed to get Tim on the podcast. Oh boy, would Tabby Paris have a fit?
Yeah.
We, again, I have to email Craig Federighi to see, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? I'll ask you about Apple.
Don't worry. Basically, nobody watches it. Just hiding the fact that we've got like a 20 subscribers, at least on the video version.
23, and I get like an average of 30 to 40 downloads for the audio version.
Okay. Yeah, that's better than basically I've ever gotten. Though I have to
Yeah,
say, I've never been doing better on YouTube than previous years.
yeah, well, I mean, I've helped your channel grow Tabby because, I mean, without me, you would have never met Tabby Pairs or Elias or Jordan or
That's
Mr.
true.
Maniac or
And they probably never would
Riker.
have found me in the first place.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that is your nickname, Maniac YT, but that's just what we decided to establish your name as. Because, well, I think we called him that on the podcast where he came on too. But oh, hey, did I tell you that he's coming back?
Oh, I'm excited for that. I enjoyed that episode. That was a good one.
Yep, Mr. Maniac will be coming back. That rhymes.
Oh, yeah, it does. It alliterates and it rhymes.
Well, I've got some better news with that Tabby Paris and I are both excited for. Which remember back when we thought that WatchOS 9 would bring low power a real low power mode?
So the current Apple Watch doesn't have a real low power mode?
Nope.
So how
But
does it
guess what
function
will
then?
be actually bringing a real low power mode?
I do have to ask though, what's this power reserve function then do actually? Because I've never tried it because I never needed to.
I've unfortunately had to try it. It's unfortunately gone to that, but it basically here. I'll show you on my Apple Watch.
All right.
I don't know how well you guys are going to be. No, I. What's the function to do it?
I have a quick toggle. Oh, you can swipe up in Control Center and tap the battery percentage, and it'll pop up the menu.
This is what it does.
Oh, oh, I just see the clock.
Now I have to figure out how to get out of Power Reserve. Come on, Apple Watch, do it.
Can you
I
swipe from Control Center and turn it off from there?
Nope, it's just a dumb watch.
Oh dear. Maybe that's what your school should have resorted to.
Yeah, seriously. Oh no, I got to reboot with
Oh,
holding down both of these buttons.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
maybe that's what my school should have resorted to. I mean, they don't. They actually put that law in 2020, the rule in 2020, by the way.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
Wait,
but maybe that's what my
wasn't
school should
2020
result.
the 2020 was the year where the Apple announced that you can now set up an Apple Watch for your kid and such, and well, you can activate this dedicated school mode.
Yep, they did it after school time mode was announced.
Okay, but still, they should have. When it comes to using technology, I think these schools really should actually watch the events and get some details on how the stuff actually works because I am so tired of having to explain to teachers how tech works.
Me too.
I mean, I haven't had to do that for years now, but still, it was really annoying
Yeah,
even back when I was in public school.
yeah, yeah. I mean, at least one of my teachers has realized that Windows is so bad because she does actually have a Mac at home that is an iMac, yellow iMac,
Oh, that's nice.
and she uses her iPad all the time in the classroom too. It's an Air 4
Yeah,
green.
my last history teacher, uh, obviously, every teacher's provided a Windows desktop because, duh, that's what the school does. But what did this teacher use? No, no, not the desktop. She brought in a MacBook to do everything.
I've actually had both of my computer teachers have actually done that, and a lot of my aides, or and a lot of my aides at my old elementary school have done that too.
Yeah, the thing that drives me nuts about schools when it comes to these, like, they're supposed to teach you how to use a computer. Windows isn't the only way to use a computer.
Exactly. And
So,
also, why does every school have a Dell tower?
because they're cheap,
But
you
I
can
mean,
get them for
why do
cheap.
they all always have those? Like that makes no sense.
I use Dell
Except
computers
for
at work.
like everybody have like I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about when I mention Dell towers.
Yeah. My issue,
But
I mean, honestly, when it comes to the Windows side, I do like Dell. Well, at least in their laptops. Their desktops leave a lot to be desired. The problem is with the desktop, okay, the laptops, everything makes sense. It's not exactly designed to be upgradable, everything's replaceable and such because you got such a confined space. It makes sense how you kind of have to get creative with how you get everything to fit inside a small body. A desktop, that's just not the case. So
and
when
they're
you're
so
designing a desktop,
huge.
yeah, and when you're designing a desktop, why do you have to make everything as proprietary as a laptop when honestly in a desktop you just don't need to because in this case you're not confined with space. You're not
And
trying to work
especially
around a
considering how
limited
big
space.
Dell towers are.
Yeah, and that's what drives me nuts. It's not the fact that there's not much you can upgrade. It's not the upgradability part that upsets me. It's the fact that they go to all this trouble to engineer something. If you've taken apart a Dell system, which I know you haven't, but I've taken apart many Dell systems at work. If you've taken apart a Dell system, it's completely over engineered, but you gotta admit, the engineering they put into those things is impressive. They waste so much good engineering for something that doesn't need it.
If they're all gonna, if all they're gonna be is bought by schools who are like, Apple Watches suck. Apple is the worst company on the planet.
Yeah, we
Like
should
it's like that's
totally
what my
buy
school
even
is
worse
thinking.
computers.
Yeah, instead of buying nice fleets of Macs for all the kids to use that don't have trackpads that wear down, that wear down from computer more worn trackpads that are worn out like two times more than my black book.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it
When even
drives me
all my
nuts.
old Windows laptops don't have to wear that as heavy as those disgusting Chromebooks.
Yeah. I mean that's the last reason why my family is in particular we buy Dell laptops, except me. I buy MacBooks because, well, Windows sucks. But they all buy Dell laptops, and it's because actually they built some pretty good laptops that will actually last. The last laptop my dad had, oh, it was built like a tank, and that thing lasted for like 10 years.
A YouTuber named The Electrical Outlet, his mom had a Dell Vostro from the same Dell Vostro from '09 to 2020, and of course he actually got it and he upgraded and put an SSD in it.
Yeah, in terms of making laptops last, through family experience, they've just bought Dell, and I can actually understand why, because dang, that thing really lasted for like 10, 20 years. No, not 20. 10. No, not even longer than 10. It was like 15 years. That thing went on strong.
Yep.
And he abuses that thing. So that's why when eventually I get a laptop that's actually better suiting my needs for my job, because unfortunately there's zero CAD software for Mac OS, which really sucks. That's why I'm going to get a Dell XPS.
Yep. And then you'll run into the same issues that Tabbypears is having.
Oh, I won't do much wireless stuff with it. The main things that I'll be using it for is like hardwire connecting to our server, uh, running SolidWorks, and just a text editor. That's pretty much it. Like the webcam on it is already trash. Like when Tabby Pairs turned on his webcam real quick to show us some stuff. Uh, yeah, I could definitely tell that was a Dell XPS webcam because it did not look good.
Yep.
Not good for conference calls. But yeah, I'm not. That laptop is not going to get any use for YouTube other than like the initial unboxing and then maybe a tiny review. But when I do that review, I cannot do B-roll of that laptop because
How come?
my security reasons set by my
Can't
boss.
you? How? What are those?
It's he doesn't want the server to get hacked, and it's because we've actually had the server hacked before.
Hmm.
And let's just say that was fun because it took out the entire internet at the university.
Guessing the university is close by.
Yeah, we rent a suite from the university. So we get that. That's why I upload my videos at my part-time job. It's because we get the university internet. It's like the high-speed fiber internet. So
That's
that's why
nice.
I take forever to upload my stuff. It's because if I were to try it at home, like if I were to try to upload this interset episode here at home, that would not go well. It would take over 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not fast here. So I that's why I go to work to actually upload this stuff. It's because we got that nice high-speed fiber internet connection. In fact, another detail I'd like to share, I mentioned in a vlog that I'm looking to move out next year at some point. If I get lucky, I think the apartments that I'm looking to move into, they're a mile away from the university. High speed internet, perhaps?
Yep. And you could also walk to work too if you want to.
Yeah, potentially could. It'll take like half an hour or so, but yeah, actually, I could walk to work, get some exercise, considering that, oh, I am not good at closing my rings.
And you could also, or you could ride your bike too. Not
I
have to
would not
worry
ride my
about
bike,
bread
and it's
cost.
because I'd have to go uphill, like up steep, up a very steep hills.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would not ride my bike because that's way too much uphill for me.
All right. Well, now there's some news about the iPad 10th generation that we need to talk about, or the iPad X.
Yeah, that was crazy. What? I'm
Like
like,
it's gonna have
what?
a camera bump, a home button, no laminated display though, an Apple iPad Air slash Pro keyboard support. Pro keyboard support, Apple Pencil 2 support, and USB-C port. It'll have a 10.5-inch display increase from the 10 and a fifth inch display, and it will have 5G support, of course.
There's only one thing I can think of when I hear this list of feature improvements. It's going to get a price increase.
Yep. Though,
That's
why
the
is it
only thing
keeping
I
the
think
home
of.
button, though? Like, why not just axe that iPad entirely and just
Whoa, whoa,
have
whoa,
the Mini
wait.
be
They're
the
still keeping
base?
the home button?
Yep.
No! Why?
I know. There's a reason why I bought the iPad Air instead of the iPad 9 or waiting for the 10.
Jeez, we don't need the home button anymore.
Yep.
What a waste of space. I mean, I get it for older folks. It's easy for them. It's what they understand. Because I mean, I even know this. I've tried to teach some older people how to use my iPhone XS Max, for example, and the gesture system just didn't make sense to them. So the home button, it still has a market, and I guess it makes sense. But I mean, come on, there's got to be another way to like. You got so much space on the sides. Like, could you integrate the home button on the side, for example?
Exactly.
I mean, that's how you go home on the Apple Watch. The button's on the side. There's no gesture you do. It's the button's on the side.
Or on the iPhone, even. They could
Oh,
do
that would be
that.
so nice. I mean, in terms of button array, uh, actually, I'm not too sure about a home button on the iPhone per se. I'm not too sure. They'd have to show me how they would do it if they were to integrate it on the side of the iPhone. But the iPad, there's plenty of space. Like there's so much space. There's no reason why they can't like find a way to integrate the home button on the side.
Yep.
Cuz I mean, yeah, if they can fit room for the volume buttons on one side where the Apple Pencil is resting, why not include the home button on like the other side? Because generally, most people hold their iPads landscape anyways.
Exactly.
To me, that just makes
And
sense.
do you love more bad Apple news?
Oh dear.
iPadOS 16 is going to be delayed until October.
Do you know what this shows?
What?
This shows just how truly lazy the iPadOS team truly is.
Well, I think they should just reverse all the changes that they made to make the iPad a computer and just leave it alone. Because now, especially with Stage Manager, it's starting to defy what Steve Jobs made the iPad all about.
Well, actually, I'd like to. On the pros, it makes sense. It's trying to be that. Oh, trying to explain this iPad Pro theory and the iPad lineup in general is always so hard to do. But the way I see it is, especially with the iPad Pro, it's trying to take the professional capabilities that we can do on macOS, for example. But the one thing that evidently they can't figure out how to do or something like that, they're trying, what they should be trying to do is take those high precision based controls on our desktop operating system and make it finger friendly, make it uh, touchscreen friendly for an iPad, for a tablet, a slate.
Exactly.
That's what the iPad Pro should be. And I know this is a bit weird to say, but Stage Manager, it doesn't make sense for the Mac. I think it makes sense for the iPad.
I actually do think that it's vice versa because I think it makes sense on the Mac because I mean it's a good way to see all your windows for a certain app, which my mom would really love because she hates how she can't see multiple Word documents at once.
Yeah, though I just find I'm trying to figure out how to use Stage Manager. Manager. Every time I look at it, though, it's just I can't find a way to use it because it's
That's
doing
probably
literally every single thing that the dock on the MacBook does.
that's why I won't be ever using it on macOS Ventura when I update.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm now that I've got my new iPhone, I'm excited for macOS Ventura to come out because that's going to complete. It's going to allow me to completely change my podcasting slash streaming setup, so that way I can use both my 27-inch monitors and keep my MacBook down in its little hiding spot. So, because I have to have it pulled out now to use the webcam, obviously. But oh, once macOS Ventura comes out and continuity camera, that is going to be awesome.
Yep, that will be so awesome. Because, I mean,
Hmm.
MacBook webcams are not good. So, at least they're
I mean this.
making continuity camera a thing.
Yeah, well, this webcam, it's not it's not like extreme high quality to the point where you should be using it for every single video you use, but it's not terrible. In fact, I can't really say it's bad either. It's good enough. It's not great or outstanding in any ways, but in my opinion, it's good enough.
Yep, it certainly is. Because, well, that's just it. But I don't know what to say. But
Yeah.
I've got some really good news about the AirPods Pro 2.
Oh, I need to hear that because I'm totally buying them.
So, the launch models are still going to have the Lightning port, but a USB-C version is coming in 2023.
So I gotta wait longer for the USB-C version?
Yeah, well, I mean, your iPhone is still going to be Lightning,
Yeah,
unless you
except I
upgrade
never
to the
use the charge
15.
port. I basically don't use the charge port. I basically do wireless everything.
Yep, but they're gonna essentially start Lightning and then go to USB-C, or else they'll finally update AirPods Pro more consistently, and we'll have AirPods Pro 3 come out in 2023.
Yeah, if that's the case, then I might just hold on to my AirPods Pro for now. Because so far the noise canceling isn't that big of a problem because the seal works good enough, but yeah, still active noise cancellation is not working properly. My biggest problem is transparency mode, and it drives my family nuts because I'm used to having transparency on so I can hear them when they try to address me. But when it's not working properly, that's when it drives them nuts because now I can't hear them.
I can understand that.
So annoying. Apple, what is wrong with my AirPods Pro? Why are they
And,
broken?
and what's the matter with my mom's iPad AirPods 3s? The left one's not charging on both of her pairs.
Really? Has she tried cleaning them
Yep.
and the inside of the case? I'd recommend also trying to clean the inside of the case as well.
Alpha,
Can you hear me? Hello?
I can barely hear you.
All right,
Now I
can you hear me
can.
now? Hello?
Yep. We're
All
having
right.
more connection issues.
Yeah, probably the Wi-Fi again. Stupid internet. Maybe I just
And I
need to
can't
move
hear you
out.
now.
Yeah,
Or
maybe I
now I
just need to
can.
move
You just
out and
weren't talking.
yeah. Maybe I just need to move out and
Yeah.
get that high-speed internet so we shouldn't have this issue anymore.
Well, and now do you want to move about to Google News?
Sure, why not? I said, sure, why not?
Well, now it's starting to act like Google Meet and Google Hangouts.
What is the deal? They're probably streaming something on the TV again.
Yep.
Oh well. Anywho, start reading the news.
So, the first bit of Google news is that they dropped their new Pixel Buds Pro with active noise cancellation.
Yay! Like I'm totally excited.
Yeah, that's totally cool. And then, of course, Google's hardware event is unsurprisingly going to be in early October with new Pixel devices.
I hope that Tensor 2 will be much better than Tensor 1 because Tensor 1 was not great.
Yeah, I hope the T2 chip is better too. Or wait a minute, that they can't call it the T2 chip because guess who calls it the T2?
No, they call it Tensor. They call it the Tensor chip. There's a difference.
But I thought they were just gonna abbreviate it to T2, but until I realized they can't abbreviate to T2.
Nope. That's already taken by Apple with their security chip.
Yep.
Oh, which conveniently has now been integrated into basically any Apple Silicon Mac.
Yep.
All in M1, M1 Pro, M1 Max, M1 Ultra, etc., etc.
Yep. And there's some. And do you want to hear some shocking news?
Shock me.
Guests for on to appear on the really major podcasts are now paying up to $50,000.
What?
Yep. They're paying the hosts of the podcast 50K.
That's concerning.
Yeah, if you offer us any money to appear on our podcast, then you will never come on.
Yeah, it's just a good way to guarantee yourself not to come on.
Because, I mean, why would you pay so much just to appear on a podcast?
Evidently, I mean, well, the funny thing is, I know a podcast that they've done it as part of a fundraiser, except it's not for their podcast, it's to join your podcast. Taylosive EV, when he was saving up for his Tesla, one of the tiers in his Patreon was some ultimate or something, and that includes, I will give you an hour of my time to appear on your podcast.
I'm guessing you did that,
No, I didn't.
but wasn't Tylosive Tech on your podcast?
That was before he started his Tesla fund. But yeah, I had to admit, that was such a great episode. So cool to talk with him face to face. Well, not really face to face, but, well, you get what I mean.
Yeah. I wonder if, yeah, I wonder if we could get Tylosive Tech to come onto this podcast.
I'm sure if we pay him $100, he'd say yes.
We will not pay him, however.
Yeah, I've tried reaching out to him privately in the DMs on his Twitter and Discord, but evidently he doesn't check his DMs that often. Because I tried reaching
Yep.
out asking, hey, would you like to join? This was during the period where I was looking for some content to put on the podcast. Because unfortunately, the one episode he came on, my iPod ran out of storage and I lost like half the episode.
Why did you record with your iPod?
Because I wanted to show off my iPhone.
Hmm, that makes sense.
Yeah. And that was clearly a big mistake. So after that, I basically switched back to the iPhone.
Yep. Yeah, now I talk. Yep, we now. So, the guest list for this podcast season, I guess I should say, the official guest list is Garrett from iOS Pro, Jordan Riddles from the iPhone fan, Jordan Patrick Riddles from the iPhone fan, Elias. I'm not going to say his last name because I don't think he wants me to, but Elias from Meowtech, Jacob Mitchell, Ethan Guatemala from Apple Maniac YT, aka Mr. Maniac. And are there any other guests? Let me think. Oh, Robert from Apple Gecko. Robert Smith from Apple Gecko, I should say. And I feel like I know there's another one coming on. Oh, geez. Can't even remember. Oh, Emmett Ryan from Tech of Emmett. And now these guests are going to extend all the way out to December because we're now starting to tape episodes of guests 2 weeks apart instead of 1 week apart.
Yeah, that's fair
So that way
enough.
I don't have to do as many episodes with Tabbypears absent.
Mm-hmm. Assuming we can get his FaceTime issues resolved.
Well, I mean, he's
Jeez.
gonna go. He's trading his Dell XPS right now for a MacBook Air, and then he's gonna complain about how the MacBook Air is fanless. I have some sort of issues with that because,
I'm still trying to
unfortunately,
figure out what was
Tabby.
I'm still trying to figure out what was wrong with his 14-inch MacBook Pro. I mean, I know he wanted the 16-inch after he discovered,
It
yeah,
was
it's
just
too
too
small.
small for him, and then
So
I
why
think it
didn't he
completely
just
died.
so why didn't he just upgrade to the 16-inch then?
He doesn't have enough money,
Hmm.
and he doesn't have a job or anything.
Yeah. Lucky me, I have this job and get like nice paycheck. Oh, except a
Yep.
lot of it's probably going to be dumped into my car again because oh, you've got to be kidding me. Have you watched my latest video on the drive?
What issues is Red Fox your car having now? Let me go
Red
onto YouTube to.
Fox is not as fuel efficient as she should be. I was going to run an MPG
Oh,
test. I was
I
going to
actually
run an
didn't check that
MPG
video.
test.
See that video?
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
uploaded that this morning.
there's a lot. There's actually a bunch of YouTube videos I need to watch
Yeah,
because
but
I
basically
haven't
to
watched
sum
any
up, the
YouTube
results.
videos today since this morning.
Mm, yeah, to sum up, the result was a sedan like Red Fox should be getting like a little above 25 miles per gallon in the city. That's decent for a sedan like Red Fox. During my MPG test, the result was 15 miles a gallon.
Wow.
That's as bad as the family Yukon highway driving.
Wow.
So I know it's not supposed to be that inefficient. So that clearly is showing signs that the engine needs a slight tune up. It doesn't need that big of a tune up. It just needs new spark plugs, maybe an air filter, small things like that. But
Do you know how much all that is going to cost, right?
too much, which is why I want a Tesla.
Why don't you just sell Red Fox and Why don't you just sell Red Fox and claim it's a 2021?
Because Buick stopped making the Lucerne in 2011.
Okay, well you just say it's 2010 then. At least you can get a little more for it.
I'd probably be able to get, I think I might be able to sell Red Fox for more than I originally bought her. So that is true, but then that leaves me without a car, and I need a car.
Just just buy your family. Just buy the Yukon then. Just say, hey family, I want to buy the Yukon. How much will you give me? How much can I give you for it?
I'd probably take their silver Lucerne as it's literally the exact same car as mine, except without a seat. And there's
It
another. Oh
works
yeah,
better.
no, it does not work better.
Hmm. Well, you could just take, or you could just buy, or you could just go ask your friends if they have nice cars and then trade.
Yeah, that's the thing. First of all, I barely have any friends, and out of all the friends I have, I am actually the only one with a license.
Hmm. Saul doesn't have a license?
Um, he's in driver's ed, but no, he does not have his driver's license yet. He was late to the game.
I wonder why. Well, I'm not Salt, so
Yeah, he unfortunately got in late. So yeah, he does not have his license yet.
yeah, I wonder. Maybe we should ask Salt if he wants to be on this podcast.
I could. I'll see if he's up for it.
It will have to, yeah, but though I might not just because I don't know him, and also, he'd probably have to wait all the way until December. He'd have to wait until December.
The reason why he decided to quit the podcast was because he's basically lost. I mean, last time we made an episode, we talked about how tech has gotten boring and such, and well, he literally had to agree. He's gotten bored with talking about it to the point where he doesn't follow it anymore. And so most of the time, it just became me talking and just him saying like, "Uh huh, yeah, oh wow," sort of such. So that's basically why he left my podcast.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, that's all I say too.
No, I'm still recording the podcast. Okay,
Who
what
was
can we talk
that?
about? That's my cousin.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
guessing. So, do you want to? All right. So, do you guessing you want to skip all the way to the end?
What? What's the last thing? Let's just zip through everything right now. We've got to talk about.
All right. So my assistant principal, when he was talking to the students on the first day or second day of school, he stated that words are only 7% of human communication, meaning that essentially online communication it will not work. Well, you can't replace real life communication, which is, and I comment and I say it how the metaverse is not going to succeed again because of this.
I don't know why people think the metaverse will succeed.
I don't know anybody who's excited for it.
Neither do I.
I know people who joke about it. I mean, APR2K and I did that whole collaboration.
I don't get it. I just don't get it because I just see the constant problems. Reality is just going to get in the way.
Exactly.
I don't know how the metaverse is supposed to help us. It's only just a better way for Facebook to track our every move.
Yeah, like they're even trying to integrate brain integration so that way they can read your thoughts that you don't even tell your family.
I hope I am dead before that ever happens.
Meta's going to go bankrupt before then. I mean, they've only had a $230 billion loss. That's only the biggest company
Oh
loss
yeah.
ever in history.
I was so happy to see that. As much as yeah, losses are painful, that is the best loss I have ever seen in my lifetime.
And of course, Mark Zuckerberg is soon going to, will someday be asking, Teddy, can I work at your tech company? I promise I won't do anything malicious this time. Even though he actually, even though I've told the story before of how he actually locked all the higher ranking people out of their Facebook accounts and such, and effectively got in control.
Yep, and as for me, if he tried to walk in and ask, "Hey, can I come work for your media company?" The answer is obviously no, because
You run a media company,
that's
or
what
do you
I'm
plan
trying to
on?
start. I'm trying to start a media company.
Hmm. I think he'd be more likely to come to my tech company, even though we all know what Mark would do.
Yeah,
And then he would get mad and probably but someday he'll be walking out him and his whole family will be walking out on the street, begging the people for clothing, begging them for food. But because he was so malicious, that everybody will say no.
what a terrible person.
Yep.
Anywho, next
And so
topic.
Samsung just released the Galaxy Z Flip, the Z Flip. I think 3 or 4. They just released the Z Fold 4 and the new Galaxy Watch Pro,
In terms of the flip and the fold, foldables are not the future, so I don't give a crap.
and the Apple Watch. No, Samsung Galaxy Watch Pro. That has a new. that now has a temperature sensor.
Oh, really?
Yep. It seems
Hmm.
that they're trying to compete. Finally, they're being Apple to the game of something that's actually going to work.
Or is it? Nah, knowing it's Samsung, they at least get it to function, whether it functions well or not.
And then they're going to remove it in a few years, as we all know how Samsung does.
We love the SD card slot. It is the future. It is the best thing ever in a smartphone. Oh wait, where'd it go?
Oh, yeah, we've mentioned that plenty of times before on this. Oh,
It's
that's
such a good
another thing that we
example,
should add
though.
to the bingo card.
Yeah.
How Samsung screwed up. Or
Mm-hmm.
how Meta screwed up. That's another good one.
Yep.
What do you think would be? I'll make the end of the podcast about the podcast bingo card.
All right. So yeah, the fold and the flip don't care because foldables aren't the future. They basically add pretty much no benefits to your lifestyle, other than just extra fragility. If that's even a word. And
Yeah,
nobody cares about the Watch Pro because Apple Watch is the
nobody
number one
buys
watch in the
them.
world. All right.
Well,
I think we're gonna wrap up with this
obviously,
topic.
you and Tabbypears both have newer phones. We've covered that, but
Yeah, I
how?
think we'll
What do you?
talk
What
about that
topic?
next episode.
How many? How many podcasts do you think? What hot topics would go great on a podcast bingo card?
Um, I'll see if I can notice any patterns that happen before.
Like, batter, you're too addicted to your phone. Meta is bad. The iPhone XS is bad. Tabby Harris has issues with Apple products. We have bad network connectivity.
The
That's
hideous camera
5.
bump
The hideous camera bump. What else?
and
What else?
and that monstrosity on the front of the 14s.
That's
We'll
actually,
combine that with hideous
yeah, we
camera
do go
bump.
into that a lot on the podcast.
Yep.
And
Um,
what else? What else? What else? Come on, there's got
Samsung
to be
sucks
more.
now. Windows broken.
That's perfect. All right, well, are you ready to say goodbye now?
There's one more topic that I've noticed you got listed. Don't know if you want to go into it.
What is it?
Number 40. Why is this podcast sometimes so controversial? I'm noticing.
Well, I actually wanted to use it as an opportunity to mostly talk about why this podcast is so controversial and more or less solve the issue of it. Because I don't want to exactly cover controversial issues when I kind of want this to be fun, but at the same time, tech companies are so dang political that,
It's not our fault, guys. It's
yeah,
not. It's just this is
and
how the world is, and this is tech news has gotten too political, and this is what we have to do to compensate. We
yep,
don't. We do.
so
I want to be clear. I don't enjoy talking about that. I really
I
don't.
don't either.
But we have to, because what else are we going to talk about? And the world has
Exactly.
changed. The world has changed so much since
Especially
2020.
after June of 2020. That's really the big turning point.
Yeah, it's been without diving into politics too much. Basically, when COVID hit, okay, we were all freaking out, but because we just at the time the majority of people just didn't know what it was. They didn't understand what it was, and I don't blame people for not understanding what it was. It just came out, and we just don't know. So, but by the time summer came around, we've started to figure out what it was. But then, unfortunately, it became a political issue. And then
Yep.
politics got worse and worse and worse and even worse.
And then tech companies started getting involved into it.
You won't believe how mad I was when I saw Apple tweet out election things. Was it
Oh
Apple or was it
boy.
Tim? I think it was Tim. It's
Yeah.
another reason why I hate him as a person.
Yeah, and you actually tweeted about how companies promoting Jewish holidays, though not Good Friday, because at the time it was Good Friday.
Yeah, he cared
Like,
more about. I mean, no offense to the Jews, because
the real
this is
Jews,
supposed to
not
be
the
a.
Jewish hacker.
Yeah, the real Jews, not the Jewish hacker. No offense to the Jews, because this is a nation where we accept foreign beliefs or religious beliefs, such and such like that. This is where we accept that. But I mean, come on. Why can't he also say happy whatever that Jewish holiday was and also happy Good Friday?
Yeah, the only
Just do
explanation for that
both.
is maybe because Tim Cook is Jewish.
I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that I found that upsetting.
Yeah. Well, I guess now are we ready to say goodbye?
Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much explaining why things get controversial all the time. It's not our fault. It's just how the news has been, and we have to adapt, whether we like to or not.
Thank you all for tuning into this podcast. As always, I'm your host, the iTunes fanboy.
And I am the co-host, well, one of them, Alpha DeWolf.
And we hope that the other co host, Tabbypears, will be back in the next one. And as always, we are saying peace out for now. Goodbye.